born March 23rd, 1922, to Catherine Hatzi George and Peter Gaglianos, twin to John Gargis. Son, brother, cousin, husband, brother-in-law, uncle, dad, papu. Also friend, confidant, business owner, artist, pillar of the community, man of the year, and lovingly, family patriarch. One of my earliest memories was Memorial Day at Alita's. When I was young, I didn't quite get Memorial Day. To me, it was a grand family gathering at yours and Auntie Lee's store. Everyone would come and watch the parade. I remember thinking it was pretty cool that Uncle Charlie would have a parade for all of us. No matter what brought you to Peabody Square, running an errand, getting a meatball sub at Santoro's, or walking from Greek school, you had to stop in and say hi. But you soon learned it would never be a social visit. There were water tubes to fill. There were also lessons, Melanie, are you listening? There were also lessons on flower design. You would explain, Uncle Charlie would explain, there should be no spaces. I didn't totally understand then, but I did as I got older. It was the quality of the work that mattered, always to you. To this day, whenever I see a flower arrangement, my mind immediately critiques it. I find myself wondering if it would pass the Charlie test. Melanie, good job. You passed the Charlie test tonight. I know you're also very proud of your Samian roots. You know hard work. We know the story of how you and Uncle Johnny worked to get 5 County Street back for Yaya. In 2006, I was thrilled to travel with you on SB Melanie to Samos. We visited Yaya's old village and traced her early steps. We spent a week together hearing stories and sharing many of your memories. And for the 4 of us, we had a great time making new memories. We explored the mountainsides as well as the coast, took fantastic pictures so you could paint them when we returned. You even tried to get me to step off a ledge, but no one can tell that story like Melanie, so be sure to ask her. Speaking of painting, art is your passion. You always loved your art. It showed in the flowers. It shines in your retirement. I love stopping by for a sneak preview of what's in progress. Several years ago, I asked you to please start thinking about selling some of your work. I remember returning home from Nantucket where I saw a watercolor. I fell in love with it. And I said, Uncle Charlie, you need to sell some of your paintings. And I remember saying, I was going to give all this money to a perfect stranger. In the end, I didn't buy it. I was probably afraid that once you saw it, it wouldn't meet your high standard. After all, there's nothing like a Charles J. Gargis original. It goes on for a while. This is 90 years, guys. Take a seat. And there's nothing quite like the Gargis family initiation. I know there are many of you here today who had to pass the Patriarch Charlie test. It's one thing to meet the Gargis family, it's another thing to be welcomed in. When Yaya was still with us, everyone would meet at her house after church. I think the Gargis clan members were the early investors in Dunkin' Donuts. At some Sundays, there would be 4 to 5 dozen donuts. We'd gather around the kitchen table, made for 8, but modified to hold 28. And the talking would begin. Minimally, 10 different conversations, half English and half Greek. And if you were raised in this family, that was normal. But if you were lucky enough to be dating a family member, and you even thought about being serious, this was your first test. Would you stay, or would you run? Once we lost Yaya, the after-church test was lost. But now we had a new test, Patriarch Charlie. Your preliminary test was meeting all the aunts and uncles, probably a wedding or an anniversary party. You knew you'd be scrutinized, You were warned. You did your best not to shiver in your shoes and just hoped they didn't start speaking Greek. We all know what that means. If you pass this, then you are able to visit Uncle Charlie one-on-one. Do you still love me? Be in the presence of Gargis, the Gargis head of state. The conversation would be robust. Politics, art, travel, history, gardening, landscaping, birds. You would do your best to keep up. In the end, you would know you passed, because if you were a woman, you'd get that proud, sincere Uncle Charlie smile and a hug. If you were a guy, you'd get that mischievous smile and a slap off the side of your head. How could you not know you were part of the Gargis clan? Ask my husband Greg, he knows. Lessons learned. As I thought about what I'd say today, I found myself thinking about you and your values, how you have lived your life and how much of that has influenced so many of us. You put so much into everything you do. There is a never-ending drive to do the right thing. Your commitment to family, quality of work, proud Greek heritage, your patriotism, and your warm hospitality. This is just a sliver of a wonderful man's story, my Uncle Charlie's story, a niece's perspective on memories she holds dear. I think of you, Uncle Charlie, as a Renaissance man, a polymath, a person whose expertise spans many different subjects. And of course, you know, the term polymath is derived from the Greek word polymathis, which means many learnings or having learned much. As you have learned and shared, so have I, and so have all of us. And for this I thank you, and as I said earlier, there is nothing or no one like a Charles J. Gargis original. Happy birthday, we all love you.